Capcom recently came out and said that they are not going to feed into AI slop and everything like that. And they were doing a massive like virtue signal for AI or anti-AI because obviously, the gaming media is trying to get them to bend the knee like every other company right now to bend the knee to their social cause. So every company is out here right now pretending like that they're not advocating or utilizing AI. Meanwhile, we all know that they are, and they're slowly but surely trying to sneak it in there in the hopes that the gaming media eventually gives up, which they will because they give up on everything, right? So now we have probably one of the sneakiest, funniest ways to openly admit that they use AI while also saying that they don't utilize AI. Right? So this is so interesting to me. When I saw this headline, I was like, brother, who is believing this? Well, apparently the journalists are believing this. They're believing this to be true. So here's the strategy that Pragmata developers are utilizing, aka Capcom developers, right? So they're trying to get ahead of the curve, and they said that there's particular sections in their game that is made to look like AI slop, right? And then they came out and said to the gaming media that this is human-created and human-made AI slop to mimic the uncanny feel of LLM art, right? So they're trying to say that humans made this stuff and they made it look like AI because they want to pass off what it feels like to look at something with the uncanny feeling of AI. So essentially, it's in my opinion that I think this is absolute bullshit. And I think what it is that they are using AI, even if it's in a small amount, they're utilizing AI, and they think that if they come out and say, well, it's human made to look that way, that somehow everybody's going to turn a blind eye to it. All the gaming media is going to turn a blind eye to it and be like, oh, okay, well, at least they came out and admitted it beforehand, right? It's like, bro, this is some reverse psychology shit, bro. It's actually kind of hilarious. The premise of Pragmata may seem utterly unfathomable right now, so I'll try and break it down for you. An evil AI takes over a lunar research center, and being evil, it tries to eradicate our human protagonist, Hugh, and his android companion, Diana. That's pretty fathomable. Now, funnily enough, the hardest part of bringing an evil AI to life was mimicking what the world it inhabited would actually look like. It mirrors reality, but its unique appeal comes from setting errors and how they feel out of place, such as taxis sinking into floors or buses sprouting from walls, according to the producer. Although the premise is that it is generated by AI, actually our human developers painstakingly work to incorporate mechanisms that express this AI-like uncanny feel. So they're trying to basically say, listen, guys, we worked really hard to make our stuff look like AI. Like we worked really hard, guys. Okay, we promise it's not AI. It looks like AI. It smells like AI. It even barks like AI. But we promise we made this ourselves. Okay, you got to believe us, man. We would never lie to you. We would never lie to you. Right? The infected lunar base has all the above, with glitching billboards showcasing generic advertisements for burger joints or cars. It all just looks a bit off, as it should. For Pragmata, we set the premise as a fake New York generated by AI. Director Cho says, when familiar locations appear, players can relate more easily. On top of that, to make it clear that this isn't the real New York, we wanted something slightly distorted. Then he continues that the focus was on recreating AI errors, which you usually see in AI-generated art. You know, the classic six fingers, inconsistency, general slop that we're used to seeing in whatever an AI tool vomits out. Bro, are we really believing this, bro? Is anybody sincerely believing this? Listen, man, this is like, why is this a story? Because it's fucking hilarious, bro. It's a story because this reverse psychology is just top-tier fucking trolling at this point. It's top-tier trolling. Like, the gaming journalists are genuinely falling for this shit. where now I guess developers have realized if you just come out and admit it in a way that makes it seem obvious, like it's just, oh man. Anyway, it seems like an easy enough task, but the reality is vastly different. Recreating these errors can be difficult, not only because human artists simply know better, but because too many mistakes or errors can potentially be misinterpreted by players. Distortion is when something takes a shape that could have never been seen before, and things unseen before are considered unique. But if the shapes are too unusual, players might think that they're related to puzzles or that the terrain has some hidden meaning. Balancing distortion to be both unique and merely background was difficult. Listen, man, I'll tell you this. Like I told you the other day with Pragmata, I am more interested now in Pragmata than I was before, just because I've seen more gameplay, seen more trailers, and I'm like, all right, I'm hearing feedback from people that have played the demo, and they said like the hacking is not that bad. It doesn't really take away too much from the experience of the actual combat and stuff. So, I'm definitely, from a consumer standpoint, I'm definitely more interested. I was going to review the game anyway, whether I was interested or not, but I'm definitely more interested now. But I really feel like at this point, they have to be trolling. Like, there's no way that I believe this. There's no way that I believe that Capcom, or any studio for that matter, is not utilizing AI to some extent, right? The problem is that people look at AI in a one-dimensional term. People look at AI and they immediately think of generative AI, where you're creating assets with AI. That's not all AI does. There is a lot more AI that is being utilized right now and has been utilized for a very long time. AI has been around for a very long time. Maybe not from the generative standpoint in terms of art and assets, but AI has been around for a long time, especially with coding. It's been around for a while. So these journalists that are complaining about AI, they're being very generic about it. And if you have to get them to be specific, they will be. For the most part, they try to be generic about it because they want more people angry about it. And once they try to get down to specifics, they're less likely to get people upset about it. So, but yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, bro, this has been around for a while. And if you really think these studios are not using it, come on, brother. Really? I'll put it to you like this. You really think that Grand Theft Auto is not going to utilize AI? I'm not saying it's going to be everywhere, but I'm just saying, you really fucking think that even Rockstar is not, with their $2 billion budget, that they're not going to utilize AI? I can't wait for Grand Theft Auto. I can't wait for it. You want to know why? Because Grand Theft Auto is going to expose all the people that are currently virtue signaling and bullshitting about AI. I can't fucking wait for that game to come out, even though I'm not going to play it because it's not available on PC. But I can't wait for that game to come out, because we all know that that game is going to get caught with some form of AI. It's probably not going to be reported by the journalists until they have no choice but to report it. But it's going to be caught with AI to some extent, somewhere, somehow, some way, some image, something. And the journalists are going to be like, yeah, but they're going to patch it out and stuff. They're going to come up with all the fucking excuses as to why they want to play the game. And then you have regular players that are going to call out the AI. And I guarantee you they're going to keep playing the game too. All these people like Mighty Key, for example, and all these other fucking people that usually show for these video games, they are going to absolutely play this game. Guaranteed. It's only a matter of time. So I can't wait for it, because then maybe we can finally get over this conversation bullshit witch hunt when it comes to AI and get back to talking about whether the games are good or not. Because they want to skip that conversation. Yeah, exactly. When Grand Theft Auto is caught, it's going to be accepted. Exactly, Benjamin. Well said. Well said. That's exactly what's going to happen. So anyway, watch how they give this game an 8 out of 10. I don't know if they're going to give this game an 8 out of 10, to be honest with you. I'm trying to, looking at the protagonists and stuff, there's really nothing that stands out for these journalists, because their scoring system is based heavily on how they feel about what the game is trying to say versus what the game actually is. So if they feel like the game is virtue signaling to them in any way, then they'll score it at the bare minimum a 7 and then go from there. But if they, if they don't get any kind of messaging from it, then they base it off of an actual metric system. So, and usually then it's not even that great. But anyway, that's the story about Pragmata. Reverse Psychology 101. Absolutely amazing to see that. And it's just hilarious, man.